Hey there everybody, welcome back to another episode of Bass and More Outdoors. I'm Justin. This is part 5 of the custom rifle build, and what we have today is my new scope that I'm going to be putting on this. You actually kind of got a small preview of this in the first one where I reviewed the Magpul Hunter stock and took apart the rifle because like I said, I threw this on for weight comparison, but here's all the parts for it. So we're going to do a quick unboxing so you can see what you get in it, and then we're going to throw it on the rifle. And you can see the rifle behind me. So build is coming along really nice. So far, no hiccups, really smooth. So we have our little, I don't even know what this is. Oh, just a thing saying caution, do not exceed 18 inch pounds of torque while tightening the scope. So no worries there, we already knew that. So what we have here is you have your sunshade, and we have ourselves our scope, which comes with the rubber protection, lens covers, sunshade, screws on the front right here. And when I hunt, I leave this thing on. When I'm at the range, I take that back. When I'm at the range, I leave the sunshade on. When I'm hunting, I take the sunshade off. I have a nice little cover that slips right over this with the sunshade off, and it protects it while out hunting, and then you just quickly pop it off, so that's really nice. So you can see how well that fits together. And then, like I said, you've got your rubber protectors there, which they're all right, you know, not the best. Comes with a nice little cleaning cloth, so you can clean the lenses, and then, of course, your manual. And that's pretty much what comes in that box. Okay, so the scope itself is the Diamondback Tactical by Vortex. It is the 6x24. So this thing is pretty nice. I had it on my last rifle, the Magpul Hunter. I used it for going out to the range and, you know, planking some metal, and also used it for hunting. And amazing scope, it works great. Once you get all the settings and adjustments on it, just you can't beat it. On my old rifle, as you saw as I was taking it apart, I had these Vortex precision rings. Really good rings. This is a 30 millimeter tube, by the way. Sorry, I should have gotten that. 6x24x50 with 30 millimeter tubes. So, you know, really nice there. But with these precision rings, so what the problem is when you mount rings like these on a scope, unless you have the tool that connects to make sure that your rings are actually straight and holding your scope straight, you don't know that your scope is straight. Your Picatinny rail could be off. Maybe you didn't get these straight. Maybe you didn't push them forward enough, which that's the other thing when you're mounting, you should push forward. So I've opted to change up to the one-piece mount. So with the one piece, you mount this on your Picatinny rail, and then these are already straight. So you know it's holding your scope straight, and that's one of the reasons why I went with this, is it just gives you that much more, that better relief, that comfort of knowing that it's installed right. So one of the things I also did is my Picatinny rail on my rifle is 0 MOA, so I went with this one, which is a 20 MOA. So that as I'm going out to those further distances, which I do plan on shooting out to 1,000 yards and plus, hopefully. 308 is going to be hard to go past, but I'm going to do my best, which is the reason why I went with the 20 MOA rail. So anyways, without further ado, let's get this rifle over here and start putting this together. So as you can see on the bottom of this, it says it's 30 millimeter with 20 MOA. So that's what's designed for this scope. And then one of the things that I find difficult about going with a one piece, but nobody seems to complain about, and hopefully it will work out fine for me, is where to place it and set it up. Because as you can see, once you get those rings in, you don't have a lot of adjustment, and you don't want them to be touching the scope. You want a little distance between them. So it doesn't give you a whole lot of room to set your rifle up here if you set this on the very back one. And with this being 20 MOA, you can't turn this around and set it up backwards if you need more room to get the rifle further back. So we're going to set this up on the very last one here, and we're going to go ahead and install the scope and see how well it does. Okay, so now that we got our scope on, or scope rings on, one of the things you got to do before you tighten it down is you want to push it forward. See how it rocks back and forth a little bit? I mean, it doesn't appear like a lot, but when you have the recoil of the rifle, your scope actually pushes forward. So before you tighten, you want to push forward on this and make sure that that's grabbing forward on those lugs, not backwards. That way you have less movement. And we've got this set at between 45 and 50 pounds. It doesn't tell me the exact number, it's just got dash lines. So it's got a dash line at 45 and a dash line at 50. So I just put the line in between the two. So it could be 46 and a half, it could be 47. Not positive here. But since we've pushed that forward and we've now tightened all four, there we go, all four are now down and good. The torque wrench manufacturer, so Wheeler, which everything I use will be down in the description, but Wheeler actually recommends that you hit it 3 times, not just once. And I hit each one of those once. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit them each another time and see if we get more turn. And on that one, we got a tiny bit of turn, not much. Nothing on that at all. Tiny bit of turn on that one. Nothing on that one. And we're going to do it one more time just to ensure. And there we go. Our scope rings are now mounted and torqued down to proper torque specifications. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take these rings off. And to save you the boredom of watching me having to do this, I'll see you back when I'm done. So I kind of forgot something at the beginning of the video which just clicked on me, and sorry, my fault, my bad, but for all of those of you who are stricklers about this, just know that this rifle is not chambered, it is empty. And just so you know, we're going to verify it. We're going to put the safety on, which you have to open up to do so. We're going to release the magazine so you can see nothing in the magazine. And I'll open the bolt, check the chamber, nothing in there. We're clear. And just for peace of mind on everybody, we're going to go ahead and stick our empty chamber identifier in there so you guys know that this is empty. I do not do any work whatsoever with any rounds. Rounds are in a whole different room, and I'm probably not going to put any in any of these videos at all, period, until you actually see me out at the range ready to fire one. So, good. Now that we got that out of the way, so as you can see, I've now got those open so we can put our scope in there. And what you do on these is we're just going to set our scope in, and then we're going to put these back in. And I'm kind of a stickler about things. I like the logo, the Vortex logo, to be facing the same way on both of these. So that's the reason why I turned and moved that around. It could probably go either way, but I like it. It shows Vortex logo on the back right here. So now have them facing the same way. So everything lines up real nice. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to put these screws back in, but we're not going to tighten them down. We're just going to snug them just slightly to where the scope still moves inside. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch the pinch on the side of the rings when we put these screws in. So you can see this little pinch right here. We want that gap to be about the same on both sides. So I've got that just barely started. Same thing here. Just get it started, but we don't want to tighten it down. We just want it just enough to where we can still move that scope, and that's obviously probably just a little too tight still. So we'll just back those out just a hair. Now you can turn it, move it, and that's what we're looking for. And the reason being is we still got to get behind the rifle and find out where exactly we want that scope to be before we tighten everything down. So I'm not going to bore you with too much more. I'll catch you guys when I'm done with this part. We've got the scope in place, and we've got the rings tightened down just enough to where the scope's not going to fall off or break or anything like that. You can see it's just side to side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to level it. And there's several ways to do leveling. One is 3 levels. The other one is to tie a string to like a tree branch or something, put a weight on it, a swing set, something, and then look through your scope and line your sights up with that string. If the sights are lined up with that string's hanging due to natural gravity, you're straight. So for today's purposes, we're going to do level. And the main thing I'm doing is I want to make sure, first of all, that my surface that my rifle's sitting on is level, which it's slightly off. So give me a second to fix that, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Now I've got a couple pieces of cardboard under the front legs. Now my table is level. So now what we're going to do is this one is magnetic, and we can pop that right on the frame of the rifle. So due to the fact that it's aluminum, I'm having to hold it there, but the rifle chassis is now level. Bubbles in the exact same spot as the table. It's a nice thing about having a bipod that you can swivel back and forth. So now that's showing level. So now we put our last one on the scope, and we just turn that until that's level as well too. And voila, now you tighten down your 15 to 18 inch pounds on your scope, and you are completely level. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to go ahead and torque this down. And after I'm done torquing this down, we'll double check that it's level, and I'll come back with you as soon as I'm done. So what I've done is I've tightened down just the back ones here, and I'm going to double check my level here to make sure that I'm still level. So let's get the rifle level. Now the reason why I'm doing this on the bottom is because there's a flat spot on the bottom of the stock here. It'll help if I turn the actual rifle. So that's level right there. And right there is level. I've already got my torque wrench set now. It says 15 to 18 inch pounds. So what I've done is I put my line on the 15 and then slightly adjusted it up from there, so it's between the 15 to 18. And voila, levels, level, level. So now our scope is level. And that's how you mount a scope and level it. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go around and we're going to torque the rest of these bolts and make sure that this is on. And if you remember, and then once we're done with all of them, which I'll just go ahead and do it for you right now on camera, we'll just double check our level one more time, make sure everything's good. So we know our table's still level. Let's check our chassis. Okay, so that's level. And we're now level on our bubble. So our scope is completely level. And that's how we do it. That's how we level out our scope on our rifle. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in on this one. As you watch me mount everything on this, we now have our scope set on our rifle. And do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up. If you have not done so, please subscribe to the channel. And I want to thank you all for tuning in, and please stay tuned for the next video where I go ahead and put the rest of the accessories on and then fit the rifle to me. All right, we'll see you guys later.